It is a known fact that education is the bedrock of development in any country. Good afternoon and welcome to Nigeria Now, where we will be looking at quite a number of issues as they unfold on the nation, looking at education, security, economics, and quite a number of things actually as it revolve around Nigeria. I am Sarah Elisha Dasham, and I'll be doing the program together with Rachel Tansy. Good afternoon,
Good
Rachel.
afternoon, Sarah.
All right, we have quite a number of stories on our plate, and we'll love to tackle them one after the other, starting with that of education, where we are seeing that lecturers, or you can actually look at the fact that universities are actually running short of lecturers, as quite a number of lecturers are leaving the shores of Nigeria for greener pasture, looking at a number of things that are actually, behind the reason why we are having shortage of lecturers. And this is a report coming from various chapters of ASU, looking at the various school, Richard. And just recently we're looking at the issue where labor brought quite a number of things, and we know that ASU is also part of that union, talking about the labor union. And here we are seeing that various chapters running from Abeokuta, going down to University of Lagos, going down to various universities. We're seeing that the chapter is coming out to say that they are actually running short of staff. In fact, when I was going through some of the statistics, I think there is a university in Zamfara where a number of students and even lecturers are absent. We have a number of, especially over 1,000 lecturers. Exactly, Richard. And then you begin to ask what really is the problem, because they actually mentioned some of the things. If you know what I mean, I think was it last week or so, you and I were looking at the number of federal varsities versus the private varsities we're having, and then we're seeing that presently we're having a roughly like about quite a number of, we're seeing that lawmakers are pushing for a fresh 32 federal universities again. Meanwhile, we're seeing that we have about 63 state varsities, and then we're having about 147 private universities. Now, if you look at the equation, you will know that it's not supposed to be that. We're supposed to be having more of federal universities than private universities, and then we're seeing that lawmakers are pushing for additional 32 universities again. Meanwhile, they're yet to even take care of the ones we have on ground. Now, quite a number of it, if you even go down to even looking at some of our polytechnics, and then go to even our College of Education, and then looking at even some of our College of Health, you will tell that a number of these tertiary institutions really, really need the attention of the government, and ASU is really lamenting. And you and I have talked about how much we are spending on sending kids abroad, especially when it comes to our leaders, how much we spend sending people abroad, spending children abroad to actually go study, and then looking at our own educational sector suffering. If you go down, the welfare of the lecturers is not well taken care of. That's why they are leaving. Some of the environment for learning is not even conducive. And quite a number of reasons why we are having these lecturers leaving Nigeria for greener pasture.
I mean, several countries like Malaysia, Oman, US are just taking over our lecturers. And the fact is, we're not going to have them come back, Sele.
We're going to have now.
Yes, we're going to have more lecturers leaving. Why? Because these countries have grown to the level where they're trying to fill in the academic gaps. And it's not only lecturers from Nigeria leaving to these countries, it's all around African countries that have failed. Because you know what? We are educated. We have an educated workforce, Sele. However, our labor system and employment system is what is failing us in this country, not the education. Because the governor, I mean, we've seen on a paper recently where the president is boasting about our educated workforce. We do. But we don't have where this educated workforce will show their education, will show their skills, will show their knowledge. I believe this is the same thing we are seeing in ASU right now in the universities, where there's so much vacancy and there are no lecturers because they are leaving, because their services is needed in countries that have taken education to the level that we are not yet there. And then the challenge for me is that when you look at our educational system, there's a need for a thorough revamping, Sele. And until we do that revamp, the way forward is do the revamp. Fix the polytechnic, Sele. We should get to the level where when you go to a college, you don't have to go to the university. When you go to a polytechnic, you're there for a certain kind of education, that there is a place for you to function. Therefore, you don't need the university. But it's almost like college is left for diploma programs. Polytechnic is just left for if you manage to do your HND, is that that strike will make you spend 5 years for a 2 years course, 3 years course, and all of that. So there's a need for revamp, because I believe that this JAPA for lecturers is going to keep happening, because there are countries that are springing up economically and are filling up the gap for education, while we are lagging behind. We have countries that are needing our services, and we have educated lecturers. And some of the complaint from us is that lecturers are retiring and nobody is filling them up. And you know what automatically means is this, Sele. There is an allocation for these people that when it comes to salaries. And this is also showing a gap in corruption. Why are you not filling these vacancies? And the federal government is sending allocation to university with this number of people as workers. What are you doing with these funds and not recruiting people to fill in these vacancies? This is also showing that corruption is also a problem, because we have unemployed people out there looking for jobs, and you're not employing them, and you're still showing that is a problem. So when you look at it, is there a lot of work needed from the federal government? Yes, but what are also the universities doing about the vacancy? Because they can't tell me that there are people that can't fill in.
Actually,
yes.
Because according to the National University Commission, they are complaining the fact that they are not starting with the responsibility of making employment. Employment is solely the responsibility of the federal government, and so sometimes it takes so much time. Because I believe that, like, just one of this what you're bringing, one of the problems we have is the fact that there is a vacancy. Why are we not seeing employment taking place? Now, the university cannot do the employment on their own, because I believe if they shouldn't be complaining about people leaving, lecturers leaving. They should do the right thing by actually having employment. But the VCs cannot even do that on their own. It's left for the federal government right now to even do that. So right now, the question will be, why is the federal government failing?
Not doing the exactly, Sele, and that is it. Like, either way, it still revolves around corruption, because whoever is saddled with the responsibility of doing this employment and is not doing it, knowing very well that there's a vacancy, because when these people are leaving, they are not just going without resignation. The school knows if these people are retiring, exactly. So who are you in that office, in that position, that you know of these vacancies and you're not doing the needful? And yet our president is boasting out there that we have educated workforce, and then this educated workforce are lying and just wasting. That is the word here. And we are japaying, and whether we like it or not, it's just a matter of time. We won't even have this educated workforce to boast about in the first place.
Rachel, because it's really sad. Just like you're saying, it's just a matter of time. That, I mean, initially it was just the complaint about our medical doctors are leaving, how many doctors versus patients and all of that. And right now I think that the brain drain is no longer just in the medical sector. It is going down to education sector. It's a matter of time, Rachel. Another sector will come out to tell you this is what we are facing. I know it's really sad, because these lecturers are complaining. The work condition is poor. They feel the federal government is treating them like slaves. It's not giving them all they will. But right now I am faulting the fact that if this is what ASU is complaining about, and then we're seeing our lawmakers pushing for additional 32 universities. So who is supposed to go teach in those 32 universities? Who is the owner of those universities? Are we talking about federal universities, or are we talking about private university? Now, this is the question we need to ask, and I hope that our lawmakers and the federal government have the right answers for Nigerians, because it's a matter of time, Richard, again, we'll begin to see not only are we complaining about half-baked lecturers, but to be effective, eventually you start feeding it that you go to the hospital and then the doctors don't even know what to tell you. When they diagnose, they don't even know the right way to diagnose you. We've had that complaint that a lot of people are leaving even some of our federal hospitals and going to private hospitals because they feel that they'll be treated well. No wonder common surgery, we can't even have those surgeries. Why? Because we don't even have, yes, we have doctors that are actually knowledgeable about that, but they don't even have the equipment to work with. You make mention of some of our polytechnics, Rachel. I mean, this is a push that we've had a lot of people coming out to see, why is it that after having your HND, you must do a postgraduate, and then before you have a degree, why can't I just go for my master's straight? Now, these are questions that need the right answers, and we're hoping that our lawmakers are looking into that. I mean, there was a time they say, okay, HN will be equivalent to a degree, but till then, we're yet to see that bit.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel that if you attend the polytechnic, you are more like lower
It's not
class.
supposed to be like
Your
that.
grade level cannot be the same with
Not.
others. So we are looking forward to where, I mean, we'll be up to that standard like other developed countries that regardless of which tertiary institution, which learning
go
you
to,
actually earn,
yes.
you will be able to operate properly. So we hope that with this being brought to the forefront, our federal government will look into doing, we'll be seeing employment, because it's high time where we see they say no employment, no employment. Right now there are vacancies.
1,000 vacancies. in
Over
Zamfara,
1,000, Richard, 'cause 1,000 is just in
Sokoto,
it's
in just
Sokoto.
one university.
So we have
and
another 100
this is
somewhere in
exactly.
OAU, and then quite a
many
number of,
all across the state. So we should be seeing recruitment.
we should be seeing
soon.
recruitment soon of
Yeah.
lecturers. Now let's go down into politics, because we can talk about Nigeria now without going to politics, because politics seems to be the order of the day in 2023.
Exactly.
Now we will record the back and forth of Obaseki and Shaibu.
Yeah.
The fact that they had a fallout whereby he felt that Shaibu is not the right person to actually run. And Shaibu is actually the deputy governor of Edo State presently. It got to the point that he was even removed, or actually shifted. His office was being
Yes,
shifted
it
from
was.
the government, how back and forth. He actually apologized and then all of that. But then we're seeing that finally today,
Finally.
he has actually made his intention known that he is planning to run for the governorship race, because I mean the election is slated for September 2024, and he has made his intention known. He wants to run for the office, and he feels nobody, no condition is going to stop him from his ambition. And you know, quite a number of speculations, Nigerians, and then a lot of people feel, I mean, why are you actually having a problem with the deputy governor? If he wants to run for the race, let him run for the race. If you have another person in mind, let you bring it. I mean, there will be primaries, so whoever is credible enough, then he or she should be able to run for that office. But I do not feel, a lot of Nigerians, actually, not my opinion, feel that this is an open space. I mean, the sky is big enough for every bird to fly, as far as you have what it takes to run for that. And then we're saying that actually Philip Shaibu has actually made his intention known today. So the race is supposed to start, and then we'll begin to see campaigns running, even though some of the hotels he was intending to use, I mean, on getting there, they were all booked and all of that, and then it looks more like an attack and all of that. But
Yes.
I mean, I'm not surprised when it comes to politics and things like this. We are meant to see things like this, Rachel.
I mean, Sally, at this point, I mean, Nigerians might not be pleased with me a little bit, because I've been making some comparison to Nigeria and other countries. And I know perhaps it's not supposed to be so a lot. We're supposed to be always out there giving our own self thumbs up and just trying to, and maybe less with the, but I'm trying to drive a point that, you know what, democracy is not the problem. We are the problem.
The wheels
Our
actually drive us.
exactly are the problem, and how we go about it. Because you know what, when you look at the history of a country like America, there are a lot of presidents that came out from being vice presidents and under the same party, and the presidents that dropped put them out there and say, this is a candidate you can vote for, and they eventually became president, not on one occasion, not on two occasions. There are countless of those kind of situations that have happened. Now, Obaseki, why are you having a deputy you feel is not competent? What is the math behind that? Why would you put a running mate whom you have been governor with for over 7 years? Didn't you groom him enough for you to feel that, you know what, he's capable of becoming a governor? I mean, shouldn't you be more comfortable that your deputy, this is someone that perhaps you mentored, you groomed, and is capable of, under your same party, PDP, to go on with the mantle of becoming the governor? So what are we trying to tell Nigerians, that you ran with an incompetent deputy, or what? Now this is where the balance doesn't, and I believe that we begin to see this, and then we think politics is not working for us, or we think democracy is not. No. When you look at it, Sele, is what we make it to be, and then it's playing out there, and then it looks like we don't know what we're doing. But it's that simple. It's plain what it should be. This has been your vice for 7 years now, before your tenure will elapse. It's a different ball game. If after 4 years of being in office, you want to run, Exactly. You are running for your second term, and then perhaps your deputy is now saying he's resigning from being deputy, and then he wants to, then that could be seen as betrayal, and it could be seen that, okay, you know what, this is just going to create a rift because I want to go for so. No, but you're done with your tenure, and you've worked with this man for 7 years. Why would you be in the position to think he's not the man right for the job? Then it means you were never also right for the job, because it's believed that you have groomed this person, transferred your knowledge and experience to him.
It's more like a reflection
Of who you are. And then it should be like another Obaseki regime for the next 4 years if he should happen to run, and you should move for it, because now what you want for Edo State can happen through this person that you have been able to group for these 8 years. And then this is where I believe we keep contradicting ourselves, and we act as if, I mean, we make things difficult when they shouldn't be, and it's almost like we don't know what we are doing. But we should act like we know what we're doing, and let democracy and politics play in a way that it should be good and beneficiary and balanced for everybody in the state and
Rachel,
country.
I would totally agree with you at this point, because just like you stated, I mean, you should be excited that, I mean,
Yes.
your deputy is hoping to run, but it's obvious Obaseki has
His
anointed candidate in mind
exactly.
that he
That's what
intends.
it means.
And that is not how politics is supposed to be. You're supposed to leave the field open for whoever has the intention.
Yes.
And I believe even if you have another person and your deputy still wants to, it's not out of place. It's still under the same party. We
It
should have
is.
different, because but it's not about just one person coming
It's
out. There
not.
will be
There will
primary,
be primaries.
whereby one
Let
person
him be.
eventually
Yeah.
will emerge as a winner, and then you can put him out there. And then these are some of the problems we see political parties doing. And then somehow when it gets to court, you begin to fault the court and say the court did this, the court
Yes.
did that. PDP is having an issue already as a party. It has been faulted of not having structure.
Yes, because
So
of
adding up to
fractions
all
left,
of this, you
right,
begin to
center.
see division left, right, and center.
True.
Begin to see we are having more than one, I mean, leader in the party. You now ask question, what really is going on?
True.
So I think this is the time for this party to actually get its act together,
Yes,
because
it is
truly,
time.
if you really want to run for the governorship in this state, then you should be intentional and deliberate to actually fix your house in order, because
True.
a house divided against itself cannot stand
Cannot
eventually.
stand. It won't
And this is
stand.
what will give the opposition party the advantage to take over, and then before you
Yes.
realize it, a particular party is taking over the entire country, and then we begin to falter and say we are practicing a one-party system in the country. So
Yes.
I am hoping that the governor of the state will actually give his support,
We hope
however
so.
they choose to be.
Yeah.
But they should not allow their rape to affect the people of Edo State.
They
We
shouldn't.
already see that. I mean, they are planning for an investor. We saw it on the paper, whereby Obaseki is trying to woo investors into the country. So with all
Talking
of
about
this
over
things,
70 billion
billion
revenue
of
for 2024
course, of
prediction.
so
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a time whereby you should get your act together, so that the people of the state will not get affected eventually. Because believe you me, Rachel, we'll definitely have a camp that is meant for Obaseki, another camp that is
And
meant
all
for
these
Shaibu,
fractions will
and then
be a
this
problem in
fraction
the
will
end.
be a problem. Then
Yeah.
eventually, so you want to run for a particular, role, and then you cannot. With the number of things that are happening, development that is needed in Edo State, I think this is the time for them to put their hands together.
True.
Even though I saying Shaibu is saying the fact that he wants to have a practical governance where he can run for the people because he knows what they need. He feels he's credible enough for that position. He feels that he has the credibility that is needed for it. So why not give him the support? Why not give him the benefit of that? If he has what it takes to run that
Yes.
state, then let us see who wins
Let the people
eventually.
decide
Let the
eventually.
people decide, Richard. And that is the problem we're having in this country. The people have not been given the right to actually decide who they want. It's unfortunate that the people cannot come out for the primaries, everybody. So we'll now be left with delegates.
Delegates.
And I hope that the delegates will do the right thing
We
by the
hope
people
so.
of Edo State. It shouldn't be about their own selfish interest, but it should be about the interests of Edo State. Do you want Edo State to grow? I mean, Edo State is one of those states that if you want to talk about one or two things that are actually contributing to Nigeria,
Yes.
they have what it takes. So I'm just hoping that the party PDP in that state will put its act together, and that the governor, regardless of what it is, do not allow your rift, do not allow your fallout
Sarah.
to affect the development of the state. So I think that should be crossed. Congratulations to Shaibu on declaring it.
Yes.
And we hope that however the election will be in Edo State, we wish them all the best, and we
Yes.
hope that things will work out well. Well, Rachel, thank you so much
You're welcome,
for doing the
Sarah.
program with me. Thank you to our viewers at home for keeping a date with us again on the program. Until we come your way again, do have a blessed day.